This is Trish MacGregor with your Star Power Astrology forecast for November 2025. Okay, it's a Mercury retrograde month. It begins on November 9th in Sagittarius at 2:02 p.m. Eastern Time and 11:02 p.m. Pacific Time. It ends on November 29th at 12:28 p.m. Eastern and 9:38 Pacific. Best advice: follow the rule of the 3 R's: review, revise, and reconsider. Now here's a list of the other important dates this month. November 2nd, Venus in Libra squares Jupiter in Cancer. November 5th, full moon in Taurus. November 9th, Mercury retrograde in Sag. November 16th, Sun in Scorpio trines Jupiter in Cancer. November 20th, new moon in Scorpio. It's conjunct Mercury, trine Neptune in Saturn in Pisces, and trine Jupiter in Cancer. November 29th, Mercury turns direct in Scorpio at 12:38 p.m. Eastern, 9:38 a.m. Pacific. Now let's move on to the individual signs. Aries. So you're probably trying to get stuff done before Mercury turns retro on the 9th and fellow fire sign Sagittarius. But unfortunately, there's a square on the 2nd between Venus in Libra and Jupiter in Cancer. And it feels like a Mercury retro day. You and a personal partner disagree on the handling of an issue or situation at home within your family. Jupiter is busy expanding your home, perhaps through additions or a move. That seems to be where the disagreement lies. Wait until the full moon to resolve it. The full moon on the 5th is in Taurus in your second house of income. So Aries, you should enjoy this one. If one source of income is coming to a close, you've already got other possibilities and venues in mind and are probably working on making them happen. On the 9th, Mercury turns retro in Sag, and you already know what this means. Communication goes haywire, and if you're traveling overseas, there may be delays, change flights, and other irritations. Follow the rules of the 3 R's for a somewhat smoother ride through the 29th when Mercury turns direct. The 16th features what should be a terrific aspect. The Sun in Scorpio trines Jupiter in fellow water sign Cancer. Usually this would make it a great day to get out and do something fun that might also bring in income, a booth at a county or state fair, for instance. But with Mercury misbehaving, keep the day's activities simple and straightforward. The new moon in Scorpio on the 20th is conjunct Mercury and trines Neptune and Saturn in Pisces and Jupiter in Cancer. Usually this new moon would bring so many opportunities to your door you wouldn't know where to start. These opportunities may still show up, but there's likely to be something screwy about them. Possibilities, a chance to earn royalties, a break on insurance, credit cards, or a raise for your partner. It seems almost unfair that the universe offers this new moon during a Mercury retrograde. On the 20th, 29th, Mercury turns direct in Scorpio. I advise everyone to go celebrate that day. Taurus. November 2nd may feel like a Mercury retro day. Venus in Libra squares Jupiter in Cancer. Miscommunication at work with a female colleague is likely. You may go out of your way to rectify things, but be reasonable about it. Maybe wait a few days before you tackle things. Just do it before the 9th. The full moon in your sign on the 5th illuminates your personal life, what needs improvement, where you've done well, what's drawing to a close. Don't worry about whatever is ending. One door shuts, another is flung open. On the 9th, Mercury turns retro in Sag in your 8th house on your financial axis. From now through the 29th, be sure to keep an eye on your bank accounts and be alert for any fraud warnings. Keep your antivirus software updated. Be sure to follow the rule of the 3 R's for a smoother navigation of this retrograde period. Revise, review, and reconsider. The trine on the 16th may get messed up by Mercury's antics. The Sun in Scorpio trines Jupiter in Cancer. You and your partner, professional or personal, have a lot to talk about, but the conversation may go haywire quickly. Instead, spend the day doing something you both enjoy. The new moon on the 20th in Scorpio is a beauty that is marred somewhat by Mercury retrograde. The new moon conjuncts Mercury, trines Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, and trines Jupiter in Cancer. New opportunities should surface in partnerships, personal or professional, and may be connected to your network or brand. The possibilities may still surface, of course, but not until after the 29th, when Mercury turns direct. On the 29th, Mercury turns direct in Scorpio. Get out and celebrate. The next Mercury retrograde isn't until February 25th, 2026. Gemini. Since you and Virgo are ruled by Mercury, these retrograde periods can be particularly irritating for you. But before it begins on the 9th in Sagittarius, let's see what's going on for you. On the 2nd, Venus in Libra squares Jupiter in Cancer. There may be an issue getting paid on time for a creative endeavor. You'll be tempted to bend over backwards to rectify things, but don't. Just send a polite email reminder that payment is due. Follow that with a phone call if the client doesn't respond to the email. The full moon in Taurus on the 5th lights up your personal unconscious and things happening behind the scenes. If you're involved in ghostwriting, production, or something else where you're basically out of sight, this gig may be ending, but that's fine. You have plenty of other projects to keep you busy and produce income. Unresolved issues may surface. Try to settle them. Then we come to the 9th when Mercury turns retrograde in Sagittarius in your partnership area. No two ways about it. This one could be challenging. Best to avoid serious conversations with your personal partner, and probably wisest to avoid them with professional partners too. Mercury turns direct in Scorpio on the 29th. The 16th features a trine between the Sun in Scorpio and Jupiter in Cancer. Your 6th and 2nd houses are impacted. Usually this would bring you income, but with Mercury misbehaving, there may be a communication glitch of some type. Figure out what the glitch is and correct it. The new moon in Scorpio on the 20th would be a beauty if it weren't for the retrograde. That said, some of the opportunities promised in the aspects may still surface, but not until after the retrograde ends on the 29th. This moon is conjunct Mercury retrograde, trine Saturn and Neptune in Pisces and Jupiter in Cancer. Possibilities you land a new job or are given new responsibilities, and either of these result in higher pay. On November 29th, get out and celebrate. Mercury turns direct. Cancer, Mercury retro month. But first, on November 2nd, Venus in Libra squares Jupiter in your sign. Someone in your family, a woman, creates an issue that Jupiter exaggerates. It could be virtually anything. A scheduling conflict, no groceries in the fridge, the car won't start, stuff like that. On the 5th, there's a full moon in Taurus in your 11th house. Your network or brand is illuminated. If something within is drawing to a close, or within it is drawing to a close, don't worry about it. One door shuts, another is flung open. What's it going to be, Cancer? What do you want? Mercury turns retro in Sag on November 9th. And this occurs in your 6th house of health and work. So your experience with miscommunication is likely to happen in your daily work life with a boss or more likely a colleague. But that will have repercussions with other individuals in your life. If possible, rectify things quickly and do it before. Well, do it when you can. The real problem here is that even when you try to rectify stuff, Mercury still will be misbehaving. The trine on the 16th should be a great day. The Sun and Jupiter trines Jupiter, your sign. Your creativity should be singing, celebrating. But with the retrograde, there are likely to be snafus. If you can deal with them quickly, do so. It's a good day to get out and have some fun, regardless. Okay, this new moon in Scorpio on the 20th. It seems unfair that it's during a retrograde. That may delay the appearance of the opportunities concerning your creative drive. If you're female, you might think you're pregnant and then find out you aren't. If you're racing forward with a creative endeavor, you may suddenly run into the proverbial brick wall. That said, this moon conjuncts Mercury retrograde and trines Neptune and Saturn, and also trines Jupiter in your sign. There's an armada of energy on your side. You can grab this retro and with a little effort twist it into something that benefits you. When Mercury turns direct in Scorpio on the 29th, have a party. Invite friends, family, positive, upbeat people. Leo. On November 2nd, Venus in Libra squares Jupiter in Cancer. It may feel like a Mercury retrograde day, but it's really not. A square from Jupiter usually results in you trying too hard to accommodate the person involved. It's likely to be a woman in your neighborhood complaining about something, your dog in her yard, your car parked on her grass, stuff like that. Email or call, but don't bend over backward. The full moon in Taurus occurs in your 10th house of career. Something in this area may be drawing to a close. If you've been furloughed by the government during the shutdown, for instance, there may be an issue about getting your back pay when the government reopens. It may be time to chase a dream, Leo, rather than stick around with such chaos and uncertainty. You'll know instinctively when to break free. Okay, November 9th, and here's the Mercury retro in Sag. Don't start chasing the dream until after the 29th, when the retrograde ends. In the interim, take nothing for granted. Double-check all appointments and follow the rule of the 3 R's: revise, review, and reconsider. Communicate as clearly as possible. On the 16th, the Sun in Scorpio trines Jupiter in Cancer. This is a beauty of a day, except that Mercury is misbehaving. You may feel like diving into a creative endeavor, but if it's to work on a new project, don't do it. Go back, revise, review, and reconsider. Jupiter is expanding your personal consciousness, emphasizing your particular archetypes, your intuition. Use it. The new moon in Scorpio on the 20th is incredible. It conjuncts Mercury retro, trines Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, and trines Jupiter in Cancer. In other words, the energy is enhanced when it concerns your home, family, and your personal environment. The new opportunities may be delayed, and the possibilities: a move, a pregnancy, someone moves in or out. You get the idea, right? On the 29th, Mercury turns direct in Scorpio. I advise people to celebrate by doing something they really enjoy. Virgo, on or around November 2nd, Venus in Libra, your income area, squares Jupiter in Cancer in your 11th house. It's called the House of Wishes and Dreams, but covers your brand, your network of friends and colleagues. Think of it as the collective, and this square may indicate that you don't get paid for something you're owed. Email or call. On the 5th, the full moon in Taurus occurs in your 9th house. This moon lights up your worldview, spiritual beliefs, and also things like higher education and foreign travel, people, and cultures. Something in this area may be drawing to a close, but don't fret about it. Just go with the flow. Complete tasks and obligations before Mercury turns retro on the 9th. Okay, here it is, the 9th. Mercury turns retro in Sagittarius in your 4th house. This usually means that things go haywire at home. Miscommunication all the way around with your kids, your partner, your parents. For easier navigation, follow the rule of the 3 R's: review, revise, and reconsider. If Mercury were behaving, the 16th would be a terrific day. The Sun in Scorpio trines Jupiter in Virgo in Cancer. Your communication with your network of colleagues and friends goes haywire. An email could fix the immediate problem, but you may want to wait until after the 29th, when Mercury turns direct again. The new moon in Scorpio on the 20th is really a beauty. It conjuncts Mercury and trines Neptune and Saturn in Pisces and Jupiter in Cancer. The new opportunities that usually accompany a new moon will surface after the 29th, when Mercury turns direct. Possibilities you and a business or personal partner may be involved in promoting your brand or network, and it goes well. A dream you've had for a while begins to visibly unfold. If these opportunities surface during the retro, scrutinize them, make sure they aren't scams. The 29th is the day to celebrate. Mercury turns direct in Scorpio in your communication area. Libra. On the 2nd, Venus in your sign, Libra, squares Jupiter in Cancer, your career area. There's an issue with your professional life or colleague, or maybe a boss. Resolve it before Mercury starts misbehaving on the 9th. An honest conversation should do the trick. The full moon in Taurus on the 5th falls in your 8th house on your financial axis. If a source of income is drawing to an end, you won't have any problem figuring out what to do next. Just try not to do it during the retrograde. Mercury turns retro on the 9th in Sagittarius in your 3rd house of communication. Big ouch. So you've got a couple of choices. 1, for the next 20 days or so, stay in bed and avoid people. 2, go about your life as usual, but stay to yourself. Or 3, be mindful of how you communicate, do so clearly, and if there's an issue, resolve it diplomatically. Follow the rule of the 3 R's: revise, review, and reconsider. On the 16th, the Sun in Scorpio trines Jupiter in Cancer. Under usual circumstances, a task in your professional life would bring in additional income. That may still happen, but with the retrograde, things may go sideways. Do the best you can. It seems unfair that the great new moon in Scorpio on the 20th occurs during this retrograde. Mercury is conjunct the moon trines Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, and also Jupiter in Cancer. Opportunities for earning more money should surface in your professional life. In fact, Jupiter's presence here is expanding your professional life and gets bolstered with these trines. But the retrograde interferes through miscommunication snafus. The opportunities may still surface, but not until after Mercury has turned direct on November 29th in Scorpio. And here it is, a drum roll. On November 29th, Mercury turns direct in Scorpio. Scorpio. You, like Sagittarius, get smacked around this month, but hang on, Scorpio. You're tougher than you look. On the 2nd, Venus in Libra squares Jupiter in Cancer. If you're having an affair, you run into a barrier of miscommunication. If you're working on a creative endeavor behind the scenes in privacy, miscommunication may prevail. Don't bend over backward to set things right. Just say your piece from the heart. The full moon in Taurus occurs on the 5th in your 7th house of partnerships. This is business or professional. This is personal or business partnerships. If a professional partnership is drawing to a close, don't worry about it. You already know where you're headed next. Unresolved issues from the past may surface about partnerships, money, family, some area in your life, so try to resolve them before Mercury turns retrograde. And here we go, November 9th through the 29th. Mercury turns retro in Sagittarius, moves back to Scorpio on the 18th, where it turns direct on the 29th. The fact that the retro starts in your income area is depressing. No way around it. Double check your bank accounts. I would delete any scams from text messages that promise you $800 away for, well, doing something. After the 18th, the miscommunication becomes very personal. Even if you try to rectify things, it may not work until after the 28th. The 16th should be a pleasant day in spite of the retrograde. The sun in your sign trines Jupiter in Cancer. Immerse yourself in learning about something or somewhere that intrigues you. Learn to read the tarot, the I Ching coins. In other words, do something that expands your intuition. On the 20th, the new moon in your sign is a beauty. It conjuncts Mercury and trines Saturn and Neptune in Pisces and Jupiter in Cancer. For starters, this should fire up your muse and bring new personal opportunities that please you. But thanks to Mercury's antics, these opportunities may not show up until after Mercury turns direct on the 29th in your sign. Bear with it, Scorpio. Follow the rules of the 3 R's. Revise, review, and reconsider. And then here we go, November 29th. Mercury is direct. Go celebrate that the retrograde is over. Sagittarius. On the 2nd, Venus in Libra squares Jupiter in Cancer. This square impacts your financial access in some way and may be connected to your network or brand. If you charge a membership fee, people may be reluctant to pay. The full moon in Taurus on the 9th lights up your daily work area and how you care for your health on a daily basis. A responsibility you took on may be nearing completion, but you're fine with that. Unresolved issues from the past may surface on or around this full moon and may be connected to your daily work. Is it time, Sag, to begin looking for another line of work? Then we come to the 9th, and Mercury turning retro in your sign. On the 18th, it slips back into Scorpio, where it turns direct on the 29th. Be sure to communicate clearly. Don't sign contracts, put your home on the market, or move during this period. Follow the rule of the 3 R's. Revise, review, and reconsider. The 16th should be a good day in spite of the retrograde. The sun in Scorpio trines Jupiter in Cancer. You have an opportunity to work behind the scenes in some capacity that brings in additional income. Just make sure it isn't a scam. Research whatever it is. The new moon in Scorpio on the 20th is a beauty. It's conjunct Mercury and trines Neptune and Saturn in Pisces and Jupiter in Cancer. It should be filled with new opportunities, but with the retrograde, those may not appear until after the 29th, when Mercury turns direct. Possibilities, a chance to work behind the scenes in some capacity, a new therapist or other professional, a new way to earn income. Then we come to the 29th, when Mercury turns direct in Scorpio. Go celebrate by doing something you enjoy. Capricorn. On November 2nd, Venus in Libra squares Jupiter in Cancer. This square impacts your career and your partnership area. A female colleague or boss takes issue with something you're doing. Miscommunication is likely to blame, so call or email to straighten things out before Mercury turns retro in Sag on the 9th. The full moon in fellow Earth sign Taurus on the 6th lights up your creative drive, your relationship with your kids, romance, and what you do for fun and pleasure. If you have a creative passion, today is the ideal time to indulge it or do something fun with your partner or kids. Then we come to the retrograde on the 9th. It's in Sagittarius, your 12th house. Whatever you're doing behind the scenes suffers from faulty communication. This retro also impacts your personal unconscious, everything that goes on deep inside you. Follow the rule of the 3 R's for easier navigation of this period. Review, revise, and reconsider. On the 16th, the Sun in Scorpio trines Jupiter in Cancer. Ordinarily, this aspect would be a terrific time to interact with your network of friends and colleagues. But with the retrograde, things may go haywire quickly. Jupiter has been expanding your partnership area and isn't too pleased with this retro either. Best advice, hang out with positive, upbeat people. The new moon in Scorpio on the 20th is a beauty. It's conjunct Mercury, trine to Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, and trine to Jupiter in Cancer. Unfortunately, with the retrograde, the new opportunities that come with the new moon may be delayed until after the 29th. Possibilities: your brand or network goes viral. A new romantic or personal partner enters your life. A new communication project heads your way, a book, a script, a workshop. On the 29th, Mercury turns direct in Scorpio. Do something special with people you enjoy. In other words, go celebrate. Aquarius. On November 2nd, Venus in Libra squares Jupiter in Cancer. A female colleague takes exception to your approach to something in your daily work routine. Don't bend over backward to accommodate her. Email her to straighten things out. The full moon in Taurus on November 5th lights up your 4th house, home, family, personal environment. Something is drawing to a close within your family. An adult child leaving for college, a roommate moving out. Just accept it as a natural course of events. Look at it as an opportunity. On the 9th, the retrograde in Mercury begins. It's in Sagittarius in your 11th house. Networks, brand, wishes, and dreams. It ends on the 29th, so yes, Thanksgiving is included, and that can be problematic if members of your family share different political beliefs. Before Trump, that kind of thing probably wasn't an issue. Follow the rule of the 3 R's to navigate the period more smoothly. Revise, review, and reconsider. On the 16th, the Sun in Scorpio trines Jupiter in Cancer. This one benefits you professionally through something you're doing in your daily work routine. However, with the retrograde, there may be some snafus that prevent this aspect from unfolding the way it should. The new moon in Scorpio on the 20th may suffer from the same thing, which is too bad because it has some terrific aspects. Mercury is conjunct, and the moon trines both Neptune and Saturn, and also trines Jupiter in Cancer. All of these aspects should trigger new professional opportunities. But the opportunities may not show up until after Mercury turns direct in Scorpio on the 29th. Possibilities: a new job or career, a promotion, a substantial raise or bonus, something you'll love. On the 29th, Mercury turns direct in Scorpio in your 10th house. This will delight you professionally and in every other way, too. Pisces. On November 2nd, Venus in Libra squares Jupiter in Cancer. While Jupiter is busy expanding your creativity, the square from Libra may throw a wrench into your payment for a creative project. Resolve it before Mercury turns retro on the 9th. The full moon in Taurus on the 5th lights up your 3rd house. Communications, siblings, your neighborhood, education. Something in this area may be nearing completion. Perhaps you've listed your home for sale, and your relationship with a sibling is changing because of the pending move. Just don't sign any contracts until after the 29th, when Mercury turns direct in Scorpio. And here we go on the 9th, Mercury turns retro in Sag in your 9th house. This may lead to miscommunication, disagreements with family and friends about spiritual values, belief systems, higher education, politics. Take your pick. Best to follow the rule of the 3 R's. Review, revise, reconsider. Don't sign any contracts and communicate as clearly as possible. The 16th forms a beautiful trine between the Sun in Scorpio and Jupiter in Cancer. Usually, this would heighten your creative abilities and drive and enable you to include your spirituality and worldview into creative endeavors. But with this retro, things may go haywire in that department. Do the best you can and get through the rest of the retrograde. The new moon in Scorpio on the 20th is a beauty. Mercury is conjunct and the moon trines Saturn and Neptune in your sign, and also trines Jupiter in Cancer. The new opportunities that may surface with this new moon are focused on your creativity, which Jupiter has been expanding. But Mercury is retrograde, so it's possible these opportunities will be delayed until after Mercury turns direct in Scorpio on November 29th. To navigate this period more smoothly, don't sign any contracts and follow the 3 R's: review, revise, and reconsider. On the 29th, when Mercury turns direct, go celebrate, especially if you're a Gemini or a Virgo.
Thanks for joining The Mystical Underground. Visit www.themysticalunderground.com for the latest blog post and book info. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app. Listen to the podcast at podcast.themysticalunderground.com. Follow Trish and Rob on Instagram at Trish and Rob MacGregor. Follow us on Twitter at The Mystic Cast. Send email to podcast@themysticalunderground.com. And until next week, thank you for listening and stay mystical.
Yeah.